Okay, today we're going to talk about the Eastern Divisional and the Connecticut River in 1990, where I qualified for the Federation National Championship. So these divisional teams, I was on the New York State team in 1990. It was still an 8-man team. New York picked it off a point circuit. The top 8 for the point circuit became the state team. Each state sent 4 guys with boats and 4 without, or draw format. So technically the riders were entitled to half a day on their water. And so it was Connecticut River. Now, we talked about Connecticut River earlier. That's where I qualified for my first divisional team, which was a Connecticut team in '85. So this is new. I was on the New York team, and we went, the division was on the Connecticut River. The club I was in, Watershed Bassmasters, went there every year. I fished a few Connecticut Federation tournaments, a few open tournaments on the Connecticut River. So I was the only one really familiar with it on the team. We all worked together, and the fishing was tough. We all, when you made state team in New York made arrangements for the hotels, gave you money for gas and food, paid for everything. So it was a 3-day practice, 3-day tournament. So it was like a free fishing vacation for 6 days on the Connecticut River. We went on Hartford. Hartford is as far up the Connecticut River as they have the navigation channel marked, and Connecticut River's tidal, but up at Hartford, the current basically just runs one way. That'll become important later. You can go upstream from Hartford with a jet boat, or if you know your way around, you can get a few miles up. And most of the better fishing is downriver, and on the main river on the Connecticut River, where there's marinas, there's no wake, so it takes quite a while to get down, up and down the river. So the first day of practice, we all went out, the 8 of us, and we all get back to our room, and everybody's like, the fishing is terrible. It's like, okay, wait a minute, anybody catch anything? Yeah, I caught one short. I caught a keeper and a short. I said, so maybe we got something. Maybe we'll look at what we have. So between the 8 of us, we'd caught 8 fish, keepers and shorts total. So we got the map out, figured out what circumstance the few fish that got caught were caught, and to see if there was any kind of pattern to be making out of. So the second day we went out and practice, some of the fish got caught in the backwaters during the day, and some of them got caught in the main river. And we went out and looked a little further. Mostly we concentrated down in the very way down the south part of the river. The most experience I had, my club would run out of salmon. It's on here on the map. Salmon Cove ramp. As you got further down the river towards the salt water, there was more backwaters, and usually in these tidal rivers, the fish need the backwaters to spawn. The largemouth and the bass population is generally better in tidal waters when there's more backwater. Just straight main river channel isn't great habitat. So went out, I paired up with a second boat, and we found basically in practice between a bunch of us that early in the day you could catch fish off hard structure on the main river. If you go review back to one of my previous videos, Whalebone Creek is where I won a tournament there, got on the Connecticut team, and that was where I would end up fishing in the morning of the first day, 2 days of the tournament. Basically, we you could catch fish on the main river on the hard structure first thing in the morning. It'd be like a morning bite. And then after that, the only fish getting caught were in these backwaters. There's a number of, they're actually oxbow lakes. The rivers changed course over the years. And there's things like, maybe you can see that little thing there, that little blue spot. That's Chapman's Pond. And further down is Hamburg Cove. And went into the backwaters. Me and a second boat, we went into this Chapman's Pond. And we got through the creek into the pond, and he went right and I went left, and the wind was blowing in the direction he went, so he just drifted, and I had the trolling motor up along the weed edge. There's milfoil in all these backwaters. And then we re-rendezvoused, you know, a half hour, an hour later, whatever it was, and he'd caught a fish and I hadn't. So it's like we went to the opposite shore. There was a weed edge on that opposite shore. I said, this time you go upwind and I'll drift down. And I caught one, he didn't. And some other guys in the team got a similar experience. And what we found was the fish in these ponds were so spooky that if you had the trolling motor running, and as it turned out, if you had anything running in the boat, you couldn't catch a fish. You'd see the fish in the weeds spook as you approached them. You couldn't even cast overhand. You cast overhand, you'd see fish 100 feet away from the boat spooking off. And the few fish we caught, you catch flipping. So first day we had this pattern, and we had I fished Whalebone Creek. I think maybe a second boat fish there. There's an opera house and upstream of that they called the opera house, this play place, and a good rock point there. And we all started out on the main river, and 9-10 o'clock we went into the backwaters. And the first day, between the 8 of us, we caught about 20 pounds, and we were leading the tournament. And second day, same thing. We caught you know, maybe 20 pounds between the 8 of us, and we maintained the lead. So now the third day of the tournament, it was, and I'll learn some give you a valuable lesson here. Third day of the tournament, there was a major fog delay. I mean, like we didn't leave till like 11 o'clock. So we're like meeting in the parking lot. It's like strategizing whether or not we should make this run, because it takes like Hamburg Cove, where I was fishing after the morning bite, which the morning bite is over, way over by now, is like an hour to get down there. And it's like, well, I got 4 hours to fish. I run an hour. And a guy, Larry Allerdad, a great amount of respect, guy from Massachusetts, who was one of the few guys that fished pro, he had told me at one time, I asked him about a long run. He says, if you can spend half your time fishing, it's worth the run. So I determined I was going to Hamburg Cove. There was one of our 4 boaters hadn't caught a fish in 2 days. And the ramp is right on the main river, and there's no off limits. And about a quarter mile down on the ramp side, where they'd been holding the weigh-ins and releasing the fish, there's a big log jam. It's like, and he was like the first boat. I said, park. And you know, we decided, you know, our first boat needs to park on that log jam, fish for those released fish. And our first boat out, this gentleman that hadn't caught a fish in 2 days, he had the best catch of the day. He sat on that log jam all day, weighed in like 3 fish, which in this tournament, 3 fish was a stellar day. And I ran to Hamburg Cove. I drifted across these milfoil flats, live well turned off, trolling motor not even in the water, depth finder turned off, and I caught a 3-pound bass. That's my catch for today. And it was enough. We we caught about 20 pounds again. I think we had like a 58-pound total and dominated the tournament. We won by a pretty substantial margin, and it qualified me for the Federation National Championship. See, now in '85 on Winnipesaukee, when Danny Correa went, the top finisher on the winning team went to the Classic. So if the format hadn't changed, at this point I would have already have qualified for the Classic. But now there was an extra step. Once you went to the divisional, the top individual in each team went on to the national championship. And by being the top guy on New York, even with we won the tournament, I was going to the national championship, and it was going to be in the spring of 1991 on Smith Mountain Lake. And that's the next, tune into a future episode about 3-4 days from now. I'm going to talk about going down to Smith Mountain Lake and the Federation National Championship. The first Federation National Championship was in 1989, and this was the 91 one. The 1990 one was on Smith Mountain as well, which will become important when we talk about that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and hope you got something out of this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, especially if you went to this tournament, and if you have like more accurate weights and details on it, that would be great. I tried to find it. I found some stuff from some of the later divisionals, so I'll have real accurate information. This is just memories. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.